All right, welcome to the Mexican Soccer Show. I'm Wiso here at foodmexsource.com, and we have a special edition for you guys where behind us, the Copa America Centenario, they decided to host the show and be with us. So it's going to be a great show for all of you guys that are watching us, that are anxious to see the Copa. Lots of things going on behind us. Lots of things going on here with the Mexican Soccer Show. So excuse us if we have to take a second to adjust or we have to switch cameras. But we're going to do a live show, and hopefully this turns out all right. I appreciate all of you guys that are on already on the chat. The Pancho Villas Army guys are also with us here in Phoenix. I dressed up, as you can see here with my orange tie and actual shirt. But behind me, we're live with the Copa. You're going to see about maybe 50 to 100 fans that are already waiting to take pictures. And I'm actually going to also interview Jeff Goldner, who is the venue manager here in Phoenix, who's in charge of the Copa America venue here. That obviously the match Uruguay versus Mexico, which is kicking off Copa America for Mexico. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Get your questions ready. Jason Marquez is also going to be here. As you can see, he's going to be answering your questions on the chat. Jason, how's it going, man? Excited to see the Copa and have this live chance to see it here with the Mexican Soccer Show?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. You know, you're there with the Copa, there in Phoenix, all this exciting things going on. I'm hanging out here in my basement, which is exciting. Not quite as exciting, but it should be a good show. It's a lot of great games going on at the same time, so it's a good night.
No, definitely. We have the games actually. The America game's about to start off right in front of me and behind me too. There's a TV, so definitely keep us, actualizados. Make sure if there's a goal, you let us know. Interrupt me, be like, hey, Wiso.
I'll just break in and start screaming.
Just break it. So Jason's gonna be our, the guy if you're watching it, so you're obviously not missing the matches, and it's gonna be good. So we'll go ahead and get started with the show. We'll do a little bit of the Copa America and answer your questions. We'll talk to Jeff. We'll kind of take a closer look at the actual trophy. We have another camera that's going to help us out, cameraman, Mr. Marco. You don't see him right now. Marco, actually come on this side so you can see this guy right here, Marco for Pancho Villas Army. He's going to help me out. He's going to do a little camera work, and we're gonna show you guys, get really personal with the Copa. We're not allowed to touch it. In fact, before everything started, they were like, please do not touch it. Some of the other fans from other countries are here. It's not just Mexico fans. Peru, Colombia, Argentina, and I think one of the fans from Argentina said, can I kiss it? So it's going to be nice and interesting and what we can do. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take the mic and go and see if we can get close, and also talk to Jeff, who's going to join us in a minute regarding the actual. So we're going to see if how this is kind of going to work. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, and let's get close. So as soon as this lovely fan is kind of finished taking the picture with the Copa, we'll get started here. But let's see if we can get going. All right, now we're on this camera, so we're making sure that we're keeping you guys accountable on what we're doing. And we have Jeff. Jeff, thank you for we're here in the Mexican Soccer Show. Jeff, explain us your job, because you came in here. You said you're el jefe of the cup.
No, I was describing to you my Spanish name. So my title is the venue director. So what that really means is everything that happens with the Copa America while we're here in Phoenix, I'm kind of providing some guidance and supervision over all the operations. So things just like this that we're seeing with the trophy visiting for us this week, to when we get closer, obviously, to June, arrivals and hotels and training sites, and certainly 3 matches in the month of June. We'll make sure everything runs smoothly and we accommodate all the fans.
So it's stress city for you, starting, getting closer May, June, because, making sure, you're treating this like the president. Exactly, there's high security here. You don't see it, but it's not like anyone can get close to it. We got a nice access. But tell us a little bit about the Copa America. I know I tweeted out some questions. All right, what can we ask, the organizers? But how are you seeing it? The Copa America being played in the United States, Do you already see, the following, especially, I mean, you guys tweeted out and emailed out the Copa is here. How are you seeing the excitement already for this Copa?
Yeah, you bet. I mean, early on, that was, the impression was, oh gosh, this is going to be a big thing. And so we've been prepared for that. But, you come out to an event like this and you really see it and you feel it, how important this is and how impactful and significant this tournament is. We kind of knew that, but we're seeing it. Just small events like this really make a big difference so that we're not stressed out. We're going to look forward to it and have a lot of fun when it comes in June and make sure that, the fans get to enjoy every aspect of it too. Parties, the day before both of the first two matches. We're working on those details now. Hopefully get that out there pretty soon. So we really think that the month of June is going to be a big soccer experience for Phoenix, probably unlike that they've ever experienced before. There's been some awesome matches at University of Phoenix Stadium, in the past. Obviously, Mexico coming out from those matches in the past, but this should be really significant, and we're really looking forward to it. And I think that it really bodes well to Phoenix that here we are, one of 10 cities. We don't have an MLS team. We're the only city of the 10 cities without an MLS franchise. So I think that is really telltale about the fan base here wants this, and then secondly, I'm sure everyone here has experienced a match at University of Phoenix Stadium and how well it does in a World Cup atmosphere, which obviously this will be just like.
Yes, it definitely will. Amazing grass. The venue is there. Can we take a, can you kind of goes by and give us a little tour of what it's made of, and we can get close and personal with the Mexican soccer show and kind of take it as soon as these guys are out and we can get going. Ceci, is it okay after them we kind of go in and take pictures? All right, so we already got the go ahead at Ceci. So I'm gonna take off my little headset here, and we're gonna follow it. So Marco's gonna kind of follow me right now, and we'll do it. So if you can see, here is the cup, guys. Tell us what is it made out of? I mean, is it plata? Is it silver? What is it? How heavy is it?
It's silver, right?
Silver?
It's silver. It's a silver base, a base with obviously here, and it's made of silver. And it was made and crafted by a jeweler that made the original Copa trophy 100 years ago. So this is kind of the new version, but this is the version that the winner will hoist come June in New York.
You know how heavy it is?
Almost 25 pounds, not quite.
So 25 pounds, hopefully there are no players that actually pick it up and they don't drop it. You have, as I see, all of the countries that have won. That's correct. Right? And obviously it comes from the bottom, and then it kind of just wraps around. We see Brazil 89, Uruguay 87, 1987, 89, 79. We don't see Mexico here, but hopefully Mexico, right, can win. As we get Marco, if you can see kind of what's happening. Well, hopefully that can happen. And then it says Copa America Centenario on the football.
Here's some information you guys will want. So June 5th, you guys are facing Uruguay. Uruguay is the most prolific winner on this trophy. They've won 15 times.
There you go. Well, so there's our shot. We're facing Uruguay. As you can see, everyone is anxious to get to get more of it. Thank you so much for being on and obviously getting a close and personal with the cup. And we'll go back and continue the Mexican soccer show here with the fans that are around. But I know there's a lot of fans that are waiting to take pictures. We'll say thank you so much to the Copa America guys. And we'll start heading back. If you can follow me, and we'll show you how we get in. And now we're at this camera. Let's see. All right, that's it. I'm back. Now I'm back on this one. Thank you, Marco, for following. Thank you, Jason. What did you think?
That's a pretty trophy. I think you should just grab it. Make a break for it.
Wow, I think I might maybe can. Oh no,
Too many wires, maybe.
You don't see anything, but there's actually some security here, and I don't think they'll let me on.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just have to go ahead and win it then.
Definitely, we just have to. That's the only way we can actually do it. Jason, what's going on TV? People are watching us. What's going on with some games? Update us on the games that are happening with the Copa America. I mean, with the CONCACAF Cup, CONCACAF champions. So many things going on. What's going on?
So Tigres took the win in the earlier match of our Querétaro with 2 late goals from Gignac. And so America Santos are just underway with 6th minute. not too much going on at the moment. Copa Libertadores is also going on with Toluca hosting Quito, and they're up 2-1 with about 10 plus minutes left. Pretty entertaining game. There's a lot going on in this match, actually.
How did they play? How did Tigres? How was the game? Overall, I know Guinac people are tweeting at me that there was a lot of golazos. I mean, how was the game overall? Expected?
I mean, I guess in some ways, I think Querétaro kind of played above the ceiling a bit. I think they, I don't know, that they had a really good chance of advancing. They had Edgar Benitez right around, I think it was like the 60th minute, missed the goal by like inches, and that would have been the only away goal in the series there. So, I mean, Tigres would have needed to score the 2, which they eventually did. But, I mean, that could have really altered things greatly. And Querétaro were in it most of the way, so those goals didn't come until after the 80th minute. That's like the whole first leg was scoreless, and most of 80 minutes of the second leg were scoreless as well. So it was tightly contested. Querétaro just kind of, I don't know, just I guess the quality of Tigres really showed up at the end more than anything, I think is what it was. But heartbreaker for Cayos Blancos, who really had a good chance of advancing there for a long time.
Yeah. Well, and then now America and Santos is playing. I see the screen. What's going on with that game? 7 minutes and 30 seconds. How's it starting out for those of us that are watching?
Not too much so far. It's I don't know. I literally have nothing to say about the first 7 minutes of this match. I'm sorry to say.
All right. Well, we'll continue the show. I want to make sure that we talk about what happened over the weekend. We didn't have a show yesterday because we got an announcement from the Copa officials behind me that the Copa was coming in Phoenix, and we were able to have it on our show. So that's why we didn't have the show yesterday. But I want to make sure to talk about Liga MX and then also get your thoughts on Marco Fabian, Jason, all the kind of rumors that are happening. And all of that. So a little bit about let's start with Chivas. Many people, for some reason, I picked them as winners. I think did you pick them as winners also on the pool?
I think I had a draw, so no.
You had a draw? No, you didn't have a draw.
Yeah, not so much.
It looked like it was a totally different Chivas. But mostly what I saw was just a bad Pumas. A Pumas that was just giving possession left and right. I tweeted out that the Chivas, it looked like they were on 3 lungs, or Pumas was playing in slow motion. Overall, great game. And again, La Chofis came in first touch and scoring like that. It looked like, I know the Chivas fans are waiting for that savior. They did it with Chicharito and it worked. They kind of did it with Kubo, and you know what happens then. But your interpretation of the Chivas game, which I think was the biggest story over the weekend. I know there were other games, but what's your angle with what happened with Chivas, and do you think this is where we're seeing Chivas now, a totally different team that actually wins?
See, I don't think it's the dramatic turn. I mean, the score line was dramatic, and I think that plays into what you said, Wiso, in that we didn't see the best of Pumas. I want to think, at least for Puma's sake, that their Libertadores game coming up tomorrow kind of might have influenced this a little bit. But I don't want to take anything away from what Chivas did, because Chivas were excellent. They really played a great game. But I think the thing is, we're not seeing a complete switch with earlier Chivas, because I think coming up this season, if you really watch Chivas closely, they were playing pretty well. They have been playing well. They weren't getting the results, but they were playing pretty well. I mean, that we saw it building up with Brizuela, especially, like his play coming up in the midfield. The defense has been solid all season long. So it's been there. They just haven't found the goals. So they're finding the goals recently. They're getting the spark with trophies off the bench. But I mean, the play's always been better than the record. So I don't think it's a complete turnaround. And I don't think you could say now, okay, Chivas are the team to look out for or anything like that. Of course not. But it was a great win. You don't want to take anything away from that, because I think it's a well-deserved win. And I think they've been playing better than the record for a long time now. So I think it's kind of coming back to the mean where they kind of belong. And I think it was a well-deserved win. Definitely, as you said, the thing that stuck out the most of the weekend, because it was just that pronounced victory over the rival. And, we could take this kind of as a flash in the pan. We could say kind of downgrade all these things, but I don't think it's worth it, because, I mean, I think if you're a Chivas fan at this point, you should just relish in this stuff at this point. Like it's been a drought. It's been ugly. Have some things to be happy about. Let's just go ahead and be happy about them because it looked pretty and it was nice. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Do you think maybe that there was some kind of a pressure change with Dorados now being relegated? It took some pressure off, or the relegation kind of was not ever in the minds of the players? Maybe that was the reason why they were able to play better without that pressure of relegation, or they weren't really in. Do you think that affected?
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't know. I just think the pressure cooker that is Chivas, when they are not performing and not doing well, is already at maximum level. So I don't know if like the faint hint of a possibility of relegation, which was never really all that real considering Dorados are Dorados. Like, I don't know. I don't think that had anything to do with it as much as just when you play for Chivas and you have a few bad results in a row, it's crisis mode. Your manager's probably going to get fired. You have Vergara saying crazy things all the time. Like, the pressure is high as possible, and you could see it and you could feel it in that stadium. So just any kind of result that releases that pressure, whatever it is, just makes, I think, all the difference for the players because they could just play a little more free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as the league, everyone's saying that Chivas is 1 point away from 8th place, and the league, actually, a lot of people are already having Chivas in the Liguilla. They're certain they're going to make it. But looking at the league, Chivas is also 7 points away from last place. There are so many teams between Chivas and last place. Do you think that's, the mediocrity of the league? But I don't think that Chivas fans should already be jumping because they're 7 points away from last place, and they might be able to miss out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a giant middle of this table, right? And I don't think it's actually necessarily a mediocrity thing. I think there's a lot of decent teams in this league right now, and there's a lot of teams that are capable. Like, there's a lot of teams in the league, like Morelia, Puebla, who you don't consider true great teams by any means, but they're good teams. They're good enough teams where they'll come in and take points off anyone in this league at any weekend. So I don't think it's a mediocrity thing as much as there's just a lot of quality spread out. I think this season's really proving out that there's a lot of good teams. So Chivas, they can make the Liguilla, but I mean, like, so could a whole bunch of other teams. So it's all to play for in these last 5 fixtures. So we'll see. It's hard to say. It's hard to say who's going to be in that final 8. It could really be anyone at this point.
To you, do you still think Monterrey is the team? America now is in second. León being León, who you don't know how they're going to play. Pumas is not the same as last year. Tigres, kind of putting all their marbles in the other tournaments. Do you still feel like Monterrey is the team to beat? That's the number 1 that should take it?
I mean, they're my number 1, but I think there's a lot of teams that are so close that I there's not much gap between 1, 2, and 3, really. When I'm looking at Monterrey, I'm looking at America, I'm looking at Tigres still. Because, I mean, I think Tigres is a team that could easily just kind of biding their time until they get to the Liguilla and really turn it on. And just, I mean, they have the talent to just turn it on in those big games and just kind of blow through some teams. But, I mean, you mentioned Monterrey, and, I mean, looking at this past weekend, if there was a team that, was just the highlight of the weekend, if you're not looking past Chivas, it was Monterrey. Going to León, probably one of the hardest places to play, and I'm sorry to bring this up, Wiso, but hardest places to play in Liga MX, and to be down the goal, be down a man, and come back and win that game was pretty impressive. That team, the might of that team showed up once again, and I think, you have to put Rayados as that number 1 team right now, but there's a lot of competition for that. America this weekend winning in Chiapas that's another place that is highly underrated for how difficult it is to go down to the jungle in Chiapas and get a win there. It's a very difficult place to play. Not a lot of teams are successful going to Tuxtla. So America going there and getting the win, I think, was a pretty impressive result as well. So, I mean, all 3 of those teams I'd put right there, considering that right in that kind of 1, 2, 3 spot as the contenders. But then you don't have to go down too much further to see other teams very capable of winning this title as well. I mean, Pachuca obviously is right there. I'm not going to say Cruz Azul, but some people might. I mean, you could even consider what Santos Laguna is and how they're playing, that they would have a serious chance of contending as well. So, I mean, it's wide open. It really is. And I don't think it's because of a lack of talent. I think there's just a lot of pretty decent teams this season.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of, I kind of question the mediocrity, and like you're saying, I think I definitely concur that anybody could take it, and really anybody. Can you imagine Chivas sneaks into the 8th spot and all of a sudden has a game that just kind of like it did before in this weekend, or someone couldn't play them, and Almeida could be the savior. On Chivas, Almeida doesn't make it to the Liguilla with a little bit of brilliance towards the end of the season. Is it enough for him to get sacked, or do you think they're going to keep with it with Almeida as far as
man,
been happening?
It's like entering the mind of an insane person. It's hard to say. I would guess that if they miss out, there's a pretty good chance that he does get sacked. I don't think it would be right. I don't think it would be fair. I think what Chivas need more than anything else is consistency and leadership. If they look like they're coming on, and then there's the failure at the end, there's always the chance with that owner in place that the manager could sack. So I wouldn't be surprised. It would be ridiculous, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Let's switch it around to our Mexicans abroad section, our Europeos in Europe. The news, obviously, that the big news of Fabian and some journalists going out there hearing that there's some racism in there. But to keep you guys updated, I think Fabian was quoted saying that, the coach doesn't take him, acknowledges him at practices or has talked to him since he's come in. If you remember, it's the coach from Croatia, that coached Croatia in the last World Cup. And I know some journalists, I think it's coming at Univision, said that they spoke to the father. And the father said that he's not getting the playing time because he's Mexican. And those are very, very heavy words for a father. Now, we've known that fathers of players kind of say crazy things. Jonathan Dos Santos' dad said a bunch of stuff about the FMF before. We've seen, family members kind of get involved in soccer players' career and what's been happening. But what's your take on all this? Serious allegations of racism, especially there, shouldn't be taken, lightly. But at the same time, as we saw today, Marco Fabian also tweeted out saying that he's got a great relationship with the coach, that he didn't play because of the international break. So look, it's moving things over. But it just kind of goes to show if his father is saying it, and Marco Fabian was quoted saying that he wasn't being acknowledged, and all of a sudden this comes out that everything is okay. What's going on here, Jason? Is this something in a more drama, or are they just trying to get a little PR and cut it by its neck before it grows into something bigger?
Well, whatever it is, two things that stick out to me that are very clear. It's good that Fabian came out and kind of patched that up and tried to put it away, because that's not the kind of thing you want kind of following a player around, that kind of your parents coming out and saying some things like along those lines. It's not, even if it's 100% factually true, I think that could really damage his next steps. And then I'd also say that I think as the Mexican Soccer Show, we might not want to start looking into contacting parents of players, because it seems like this is like a great fountain of information on what's going on with these players. We could drag up all kinds of massive views and clicks. We really need to start looking into parents, I think. But more on Fabian, who knows? I mean, who knows what's going on in that situation? I doubt that it has to do with the fact that he's simply Mexican. I mean, it seems a slightly far-fetched. I mean, I think as a new manager, I think there was something about Fabian that was just, I'm going to make him prove himself a little bit more. He's still rather new to the team, so a new manager comes in, bring the guys who've been around the team for a while. I mean, it could be a million things, but obviously there's some sort of relationship, something going on there, but it's hard to just kind of speculate on what that necessarily might be.
I mean, we've seen coaches kind of have grudges towards players before. I mean, in my head, La Volpe en Cuauhtémoc. I mean, it wasn't about his football ability. It wasn't about him not meshing with the team. It was literally about not liking him because they had a feud. if a coach doesn't like you for personal reasons, regardless if it's football or not, it's tough. I don't know if it's a racist thing, because I would think that not necessarily race, maybe just hate towards Mexicans. I don't know. It's not like he's saying all Latino players are I'm not gonna play, but interesting of what's happening. Behind me is, I'm gonna kind of step really quick. There it is, a bunch of ES Army kind of taking the picture.
Nice.
Right now, live with the trophy, as you can see. So I thought that was kind of cool to kind of let our viewers know of what it is, guys. You guys are live with the Mexican Soccer Show, taking the picture. All right, so back to it. So sorry. I think that was pretty cool, kind of just to let everybody see what's happening. I didn't want to get I'm in the way. You can actually see actually get up. Sorry, my arm was in it. All right, back to Fabian. So let's hope this kind of dies. Let's hope that nothing really comes out where there are some allegations. I would think the coach would see it and be like, wow, you know what? If you really did say that, and I think it will cause problems for Fabian, making sure that this doesn't happen. So hopefully it dies. I mean, and what it is. And if, good thing Johnny's not on the show, because he would be saying the one thing that everyone we know he's going to say. It's because he sucks. Because he sucks. That's why he's not getting any playing time. But that's why we have Johnny on the show, because he gives us that that point of view that I know many people are thinking, but he'll still say it. What else? Chicharito scored a golazo over the weekend, getting back to the scoring abilities, and scoring in Canada, and then scoring again here with his show Bayer Leverkusen. Interesting to see. I think a lot of people were surprised in him scoring the way that he did outside the box. Do you think people are a little biased because, we always see Chicharito kind of tap it in, but we should be used to him. He scored with Mexico. He scored with Real Madrid. I think he had more goals with Real Madrid outside the box than them. But how do you see his form, and are you really surprised?
No, I think we tend to read too much into what Chicharito does game to game, but what he does week to week. I mean, I think he's been one of the more consistent players for a long time now. He scores goals. He misses some occasionally, like just about anyone else. But he's a great goal scorer. He's one of Mexico's best, and he's continually proved that no matter where he's been. So I mean, I think we have nothing to worry about with Chicharito. He continues to be Chicharito. If he doesn't score for a month, I don't think we need to worry. I think he's still Chicharito. He's just a great player, and we should be very proud of him. To sound like a total weirdo.
Yeah, we should be very, very proud of him. As you know, it is a live show. And people are coming up to me and wanted to do shout-outs. This is kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead and give some shout-outs. Who do you want to give a shout-out to?
I'm actually PAV's Army, Phoenix, Arizona. I've been with the group for a couple of months, actually a few months, actually. And I've been with them to a few games as well. But I just want to get a shout-out to Nayib Moran, because I'm at Nova as well, brother. I'm getting my degree from Villanova. So shout-out to you, brother. Yeah! Go Nova!
It brings out the best when we do live shows when people are around here. So Nayib Moran, obviously Villanova, also joined the best of the best for winning the NCAA tournament, and he was very, very, really happy. He said he was going to Angel yesterday. I don't know if there were that many Nova fans in Mexico City, but Nayib, if you're watching,
just by himself.
Congratulations to you. It's kind of fun. Well, we'll talk to some more fans. Ceci, as you know her also. Ceci, did you already take pictures with the cup?
I did it earlier. I got VIP pictures. So I was able to take a selfie. I even took a really funny one in the mirror. So it's kind of cool. Hi, Tom, if you're on. I miss you.
Wow, Tom, Ceci.
Awesome.
Tom, say misses you. How it is? Jason's on right now.
Oh, hi, Jason. What's up?
Hey.
Jason, anytime that we have Mexico games, you guys should travel out to the East Coast, and that we can meet Jason.
I'm hoping to go to Jersey.
There you go.
There you go.
No, Jason, not a Jersey. Okay.
She said, yeah, there you go. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Well, as you can see, it's still kind of going around me. There it is again, the cup. If you've joined us a little late, we're here. We had to take it out of the Mexican Soccer Show studios and come into a location where the Copa Centenario is going to be. And the Copa, they let us actually, be kind of front and center of it. And right now, we have a line of 20 people that are still waiting to take pictures with the cup. But Jason, are there any questions from the chats regarding the cup? if you see, or what was that? Did somebody score?
No.
Like a little ESPN.
Yeah,
A little ESPN
nothing too
logo.
exciting here. Still
Guys that are on the
scoreless with American Santos. Toluca ended up getting the win there at home in the Copa Libertadores. A lot of talk about Chucky and if he's going to make that big move to Manchester United that I know Tom's been tweeting about and talking about. I don't know what you think about that, Wiso, if you have any thoughts
Jason,
on.
tell us a little bit about. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. I know, Tom, this is pretty big news. This isn't just some kind of rumor. Jason, tell us and we were going to have Tom, but Tom's moving right now, and he's actually some problem connections in Guadalajara. They haven't put internet in his new house. So he wanted to be on. But Jason, I know Tom did a little story about it. What's going on with the Chucky Lozano rumor? Now, not necessarily a rumor, but a scout actually attending 3 games, and it's looking like something really solid. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I that's basically the extent of it. And I mean, I guess that it seems like a pretty legitimate thing. I mean, Pachuca have come out and said that he's not for sale, that they're not going to do that. But, I mean, you could see a situation where a team like Manchester United comes in and that sale immediately gets done. So, I mean, it's seeming like it's a real possibility. Certainly with the way he's been playing of late, that it wouldn't be totally out of the box, totally like shocking if he made a big move like that. So, I mean, it's certainly within the realm of possibility at this point. I mean, we'll see how it develops. But, I mean, you could see Pachuca pulling the trigger if the money's right with Manchester United. And Manchester United, certainly, if the scouts are checking him out for a long time like that, it seems to be pretty serious.
No, definitely, especially if it's a legit source and they're actually looking into him. You watch a lot of EPL, not a Manchester United fan, I know. But
I do.
You think it'd be a Chucky Lozano? Is that a Chucky Lozano team? Like you can see him fitting in, because there's a lot of people that think the Latin American player is kind of going into EPL, but obviously Chicharito went in and did. But you see him doing well there with at Manchester United in the way that he plays.
Well, I mean, for me, I think that whole Latin America thing or the Mexican player thing and EPL thing is an overrated concept. I mean, I think if you're someone who's okay moving to a new country and a completely different culture, and you could adapt yourself that way, I don't think the football is that necessarily difficult to adjust to. And, I mean, talent is talent. I mean, Lozano has that talent. He's got the speed. He has the ability. He has the skill. He could step into a lot of teams and find a place. Now, the Manchester United is a bit of a mess at the moment, but it's still Manchester United. Van Gaal, there's uncertainty of how long he's going to be there with Manchester United. So it's not the Manchester United that it was 2 or 3 years ago where there's absolute certainty. You know what you're stepping into. You know the kind of team you're getting. You know you're going to be in the Champions League. You don't know all those things with Manchester United at the moment, but it's still Manchester United. So, I mean, I think it would be fantastic for Lozano, obviously. And, I would hate it because I don't like Manchester United and I really like Lozano. But, I mean, it's definitely a great move for him. And, find a fit there, certainly. At the moment, Van Gaal, I mean, one thing that positive you could say about this manager is he's playing a lot of youth. He's bringing up a lot of youth from the youth system. So you could see if Lozano goes there and he was able to prove himself, you could imagine him finding a spot right away. That is, of course, if he is still the manager come the fall.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. I know a lot of people don't watch EPL because there are no Mexicans playing, especially, Mexican fans that look. I know that I was paying more attention to the league just because obviously Chicharito was there and we're looking at what is happening. So I think it'd be interesting to see when he makes that move.
Yeah.
But great. I think Article's going to have an actual article on ESPN FC. So Tom, make sure that that you guys follow it and make sure you do that. So. As you know, if you're joining us again, we're here with the Copa America Centenario trophy behind me as everyone taking pictures. And the lady right here that you saw with the gloves, right there with the gloves, she's kind of like security right now, so it's kind of funny. But because she has gloves on right now, and she said she can't touch them. She can't.
Are they special gloves?
Fingers because
special Copa gloves?
Are they special gloves?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. That's kind of funny.
They're fabric gloves, so they can touch silver, and it won't tarnish it.
All right. How do you have to guard this with like your life? Like
yes, like I can't. If I go to lunch, I have to take it in with me. I can't leave it in the car.
Will she take a bullet for the Copa?
Away from it during this trip.
Would you take a bullet from the Copa? Our listeners want to know.
I think at this point, my job would depend on it. So probably, if it maybe not a fatal one, but
a flesh wound. She says a flesh wound. All right, guys. Well, we're having a lot of fun here at the, and we're at actually a native New Yorker here in Phoenix, Arizona, which a lot of the Pancho Villa's Army guys come in and do. This is where they watch all the Mexico game. So great shout out to Native New Yorker, which is a pizza company, pizza restaurant. So if you're in Phoenix, come check them out. They're allowed, Pancho Villa's Army to have there's 15 Mexico flags all around the restaurant. So it's kind of fun. I'm gonna have bring my buddy Marco, who is also a Pancho Villa's Army. Are you a general now? Or are you no, you're still a soldado?
Yeah, I'm still a soldado, but I'm willing to do whatever for the cause.
Oh gosh! All right, so yeah. I want to get you guys in your output as you're seeing, and I want to ask you something, especially as a fan, and you're in the fan base. The big news has been happening in the last 2-3 weeks with FIFA and sanctioning Mexico, and now with what's happening. We know it's not going to change any fans. But as a fan, and I'm going to ask you right now, you're sitting in the Phoenix game, and you're about to watch Mexico and Uruguay, and all of a sudden, Decio de Maria comes up to you, and he's like, hey, if you guys do this chant one more time, we're not going to go to the World Cup. Would you still, would you stop it if you knew for sure that we weren't going to make it?
I would stop it. And here's why. As part of PVA, our objective is to be present and to be supporting of the team wherever they go. Personally, I'm not willing to sacrifice that for one word. You know what I mean? One word is not worth it. So there are other ways to support your team. There are other ways to, attack your opponent. For the OS especially, there's a lot of ways you can attack them for their history and all that. So there's other ways to go about supporting your team, and I'm not gonna sacrifice it for one word.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are saying that, but I talked to some other fans that are like, no, this is our, this is,
I get that.
No way. Why is FIFA going to shut us up? There's more problems, and we get that. I understand, but at the same time, it's almost let it go. It's like if it really comes down to it, I don't think they're going to kick us out of the World Cup, but I feel like FIFA can, have a couple games without fans. They did it. If you remember Costa Rica or other nations where they were throwing stuff in the field, they had no fans for a couple games. I think that'd be horrible to have.
And I've heard another point that we're trying to create a safe zone for people who aren't as supportive of the team just because we may not like to say that word. That's bogus. I mean, at the end of the day, the reality is if FIFA feels like it on their day, they can pretty much do whatever they want.
This is FIFA. This isn't a penniless organization. This is a huge organization that doesn't care if you miss the World Cup. Like the Cachirules incident in the 1990s, I was waking up and I was like, Dad, what happened? Why aren't we in the World Cup? And you have to tell me that some of them, they didn't say it. So it's interesting to hear a fan's perspective. I know that I can get over the word, but I understand that anger. Doesn't FIFA have anything else better to worry about, especially having a World Cup in Qatar and in Russia that, that it's almost illegal, to be gay.
Yeah,
and here we are, making sure it's such organization. I hear that argument all the time, but it still shouldn't take us, right?
I really don't understand that point, and I do understand the hypocrisy behind that because it's true. Why is it that there's so much exposure over one issue? And I'm not saying there shouldn't be exposure over it. It's good to talk about these things, but it's we kind of look over the other incidents that happened in Eastern Europe, that even happened in Spain and I mean Portugal, where they're still throwing bananas at players. They're still, doing monkey chants. So
racist. Fully racist. And I think that's where I was having a conversation with Joel Aceves, Food Mech Source, and he's like, he's very angry, why they're taking away. But this word, and regardless if it's not, we can have the argument if it's homophobic for, yes or no, and it depends on how you use it or however it is. But something interesting, it's like we know when it's going to come. And these chants that are maybe racist, we don't know that, unless a certain group of individuals like a barra are doing it, really, right? We don't know that a fan zone is gonna scream out racist terms. But this word, they know. Like we know that every time the keeper kicks the ball, they were able to they scream out that word. And I'm sorry, I can't really hear because obviously that's a chant. Like if FIFA told us we can't do Cielito Lindo, there we go. What's wrong with that? That's that's part of it. But as you can see, Pancho Villa's Army, and it's good to hear there's a fan perspective. Who knows what's going to happen? And I think, the FMF is going to try to stop it. I know some of the teams already said instead of yelling out that word, they should yell, Dusos or whatever it is, which I don't know what's going to happen. But I already heard it a couple times here. They're already telling the cup. Guys, the cup is gone. So I know it's going to tour Phoenix. Where's it going next? What other city? LA. So for all of you guys that are in Los Angeles, check with the Copa America on Twitter. I think it's CA100 at CA100 or something like that. They're going to tweet out where they're going to be at and where the Copa is going to be at. And, they'll take it to, I think, news stations. They'll have it at different shows. It was awesome that they were able to pick us and also here with Pancho Villa's Army. Mr. Marco, thank you so much for your kind words, and we'll be there. There it is.
See you, Jason. See you guys. See you soon.
Jason, we kind of went a little bit on the chants. I haven't heard from you. I know we have great discussions about this, but your 2 cents regarding all the FIFA controversy and all that.
I'm on the unpopular opinion that if it's something that offends, even if it's a minority, that it's not something that you really need to do. So I know it's not the most popular opinion with a lot of Mexico supporters, but I think it's time to just put it to bed. I don't think it's something that's necessary, really. I don't think it's such a. I don't think it's like a huge long. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it's like such a distraction that the keeper goes, "Oh my gosh, no, they're calling me that again."
I mean, like you do something long enough. I understand that it's something that you've done for a while. You want to keep doing, but it's not something that's been done forever. And I don't think it's an essential part of the fan experience necessarily either. So I mean, I think if like the FMF is getting pressure to make it stop, just make it stop. I don't think. I mean, I honestly realize it's something that's going to take a lot of time to go away as well. And I think that's to be expected, but. I don't know. For me, I mean, I would rather see it done with as soon as possible.
No, and I think we're talking to other. I was talking to some of my family members, and they're like, why? It's such part of our heritage, and I'm just like, I don't think that word's part of our heritage. I mean, I think the way that we are, yes. But el folklore de nosotros, I'm like, I don't think that's part of our folklore. So I'm getting a little out of Well, there you go. That's a chant. It's a fun chant. So hopefully it's put to rest. Hopefully, it really doesn't cause us any problems, doesn't cause us, points, doesn't cause, fans not going to the game. So interesting to see what the FMF is going to do, because I really don't think it's going to stop it. I really don't think it's going to stop it. Jason, updates on what's happening with America and Santos.
Still scoreless. Not a lot of goals in this CONCACAF Champions League. With both first legs being scoreless. 80 minutes of Tigres Querétaro being scoreless, and then now this one. Just no one really wants to score in these games much. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't see anything end up in penalties here. But hopefully we get some goals soon. Liven this thing up a bit. Santos, again, like with that first leg being scoreless too, Santos get the away goal here. Really put the pressure on America to score too. So we can make things pretty well. So we'll see. See how it goes. Hopefully we get a goal at some point. 5 minutes or so till halftime.
5 minutes till halftime. There's still a party here at Pancho Villa's Army, as you can see behind me. Nice. Everyone yelling Mexico, Mexico. Jason, what's going on for the rest of the week with the games, Libertadores? Give us a little outlook on what we should be watching for, and then we're talking about Liga MX this weekend and what games we should watch.
So we have Pumas tomorrow night, 11 o'clock Eastern, playing Olympia. They're playing in the Seu. So they have that Copa Libertadores at home. And we also have Copa MX semifinals going on too. So Veracruz played tonight. I believe they won that. That should be just about over. Too many games on right now. And then Cruz Azul Necaxa tomorrow in the other semifinal. So, I mean, more than likely we're looking at a Veracruz Cruz Azul final for the Copa. And then Thursday, well, not really. Jonah Dos Santos is Villarreal on Thursday. Playing in Europa League, but Jonah's still out. So hopefully they can advance so he gets back into that tournament at some point.
All right. So interesting. There's a lot of games every week, every day. There's something going on. But as far as this weekend, with what's the most important match, Jason, that you see, or a couple of matches that we're looking up for the weekend with Copa MX?
So this weekend we're looking at Pachuca's hosting Tigres. Should be an interesting one. See if Pachuca can kind of get back in the winning ways. Tigres as well. Both a bunch of draws recently, so we'll see if who can come out victorious in that. Tigres need to start getting some points as well because they're kind of falling behind in the standings, so need to kind of secure their spot in the Guia. So that could be an interesting one. America hosting Tijuana with Miguel Herrera's return to the Azteca, so that could be an interesting one to check out on Saturday. And then, I don't know. I think both Sunday games have a potential to be interesting with Pumas hosting León. Pumas, it's hard to say what's going on with them. Obviously, Libertadores affects their performance in the league, but it's potentially be an interesting game. And Puebla hosting Guadalajara. So Chivas going to Puebla could be an interesting match as well. We'll see what kind of carryover Chivas have, and then Puebla is always a tough game, so it could be an interesting one as well.
Definitely it is. So definitely check it out. Lots of action and getting closer to the Liguilla. Hopefully your team makes it, but interesting to see the last few. Like we said, 7 points away from the 8th place. So lots of action happening to see if we can win, guys. Well, it looks like it's wrapping up here with the PSR and also with the Copa America Cup, which is no longer here anymore. These guys are going to continue to party. These guys are going to continue to sing. Even though there's no Mexico game, the America game is on all screens. So hopefully you're having as much fun. Thank you for joining us in this crazy live edition of the Mexican Soccer Show, where we kind of got this notion last minute with the Copa, and we decided to have it. Apologies if either the stream kind of breaks up. There you go. So we're going to do is if these guys are going to give me a hard time.
Mexico! Mexico! Mexico!
All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to end the show with the Mexico chant. Thank you for joining us. Please follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. Jason, thank you for joining us and giving us all the insights to the obviously everything that's happening with Liga and Copa MX. Closing statements, closing words?
How about I end with a big bummer in that Raul Jimenez's Benfica lost 1-0 to Bayern Munich today. But he played the last 20 minutes. The consolation, I guess, is that game being in Munich, only down 1-0, going back to Portugal, a decent chance, as good as Benfica chance could have of advancing to the next round of the Champions League. Not a great chance, but there's a chance.
Well, there it is. Hopefully it keeps going. It's our only, hope to see a Mexican and obviously in the Champions League. So we'll see where it's at. Guys, thank you very much. I'm Wiso from FoodMex Source and the Mexican Soccer Show. Join us next week on Monday for a full show with all the guys. And we'll be back on our same VAT channel, 7 p.m. same VAT time. So have fun. Please make sure you share this. If would love to get, obviously, the likes and obviously the shares on Facebook and Twitter. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and the madness and the craziness of the Copa, but hopefully you're able to see it. If it's look for the Copa America online because hopefully it comes. I know it's going to LA and then it's going back to the East Coast. So guys, that's it from me. Hope you guys have a safe week, and we'll see you all next Saturday on the Mexican Soccer Show. See you later. Bye, Jason.
Hey guys.